let's talk about the toxic relationship between Indiana Jones and Marion in the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now, you all know I like it when there's a good female character, a role model, someone who's written well. The character of Marion is not that. She obviously has low self-value, low self-worth. She has so much potential to be such a great role model because she does some cool stuff in some fight scenes. When she's captured, she devises a plan to try to escape. So she has potential to be really, really cool, but her toxic relationship with Indiana Jones just makes her one of the weakest female characters that I kept yelling at the screen at her. I was so angry. So let's talk about this. First, we meet her, Indiana Jones. Actually, no, the first time we meet her, she's in that drinking contest against that male, and she's doing a great job. She's kicking butt, and you think this is a cool girl. But then Indiana Jones comes in, and she just pulls this huge dramatic, like, you ruined my life, what are you doing back here? And they never explain what he did to ruin her life. And as far as I can tell, she's a successful business owner who just drank some guy under the table and made a whole bunch of cash. So she seems to be doing okay. Her life doesn't seem to be ruined. Now, I realize this is set in the 30s, and back then, you know, maybe someone taking your virginity and taking off would be considered a life-ruining thing. So I'm assuming that's what he did. He seduced her, took her virginity, maybe got scared, commitment phobic, left, right? So that's fine. That's cool. She's allowed to be carrying drama from the past, but the next scene, or at least 2 scenes later, maybe the next day, they're walking through the market. They have this monkey. She's pretending that it's their love child. She's talking to him about, about his love life. Have you been dating? Who have you been dating? Let's pretend this monkey's our child. That is so pathetic. You hated him like the day before. He ruined your life the day before. And now you're flirting with him, throwing yourself at him, pretending the monkey's your love child. Like, this is really, really low self-value, terrible behavior. I know that Indiana Jones is being built up as this sex symbol. He's got this, class that it's all females in college, and all the females are flirting with him, and it's like, oh, well, she just couldn't resist his charm because he's so sexy. I don't buy it, okay? Maybe all the other girls can not resist his charms and have him as a sex symbol, because, that hat, that whip, he's pretty attractive. He's Harrison Ford. But this girl has a past with him. This girl's already been used by him. And there's so many times in this movie where Indiana Jones proves that he does not care about her. So let's take a look. When she is kidnapped, he goes to save her, but then realizes if he saves her, he won't be able to find the Ark. And therefore, he decides the Ark is more important to him than her. So he leaves her tied up, kidnapped. This is a time period where she could be beaten, she could be raped. He has no idea what's going to happen to her, but he is not willing to risk not digging up the Ark to save her. He could save her, blow his cover, and come back another day because he knows where the Ark is and he knows that they're digging in the wrong spot. But he chooses that he wants to find the Ark that day. The next time that it totally seems like he is not into her, he does not love her. He's flirting with her, seducing her. They kiss on that boat, and then he falls asleep. Any guy who's into you, if you kiss him and he falls asleep, I don't care how tired or exhausted he is. He didn't even do any of the digging. Come on. And at the end of the movie, she's all over him, acting like they're in a relationship or that they're together, and he has made absolutely no promises to her. And in the next movie, she's not there. So obviously she's just wasting her time on a guy that she knows is toxic to her. She knows it's a bad relationship. She knows it's going nowhere, but she has so low self-value that she's still willing to throw herself at him. And it's a terrible role model. I hate the fact that this woman is written like this in this movie. Setting their toxic relationship aside, let's talk about the actual plot of the movie. Before I get into it, let's hear what Amy Farrah Fowler has to say.
All right. Indiana Jones plays no role in the outcome of the story. If he weren't in the film, it would turn out exactly the same.
I see your confusion. You don't understand. Indiana Jones was the one in the hat with the whip.
No, I do. And if he weren't in the movie, the Nazis would have still found the Ark, taken it to the island, opened it up, and all died. Just like they did.
So basically, if you watch this movie, all Indiana Jones actually does is help the Germans find the Ark faster. Because they weren't even digging in the right spot, and he pointed them right to it, made them find it, and he had nothing to do with them being killed. He just had to stand there and close his eyes. Another thing that I noticed is Marion's dress. It is not from the 1930s. It is definitely an 80s style dress. This is what a dress from the 1930s looks like, and this is the dress that she's wearing. And don't get me started on the fact that when Indiana Jones rips the bottom of it, it rips in a perfect straight line all the way around. I don't know about you, but there are no dresses in my closet that would rip that way. Yes, it's a good action movie. Yes, it is a must-see movie because there are so many other movies that do parodies from scenes from this movie or that reference this movie, and Indiana Jones is an iconic character and everyone should know who he is and what's going on with these movies. I just don't need to watch it again because I don't like the way that it's written, and I'm fine. I know who Indiana Jones is and I get the references. I don't need it anymore. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for creating it. It's very nostalgic. There's lots of people that like it, but I prefer to watch movies that have more female characters and stronger female characters. So thank you, George Lucas. You gave us Princess Leia, who is a great, strong female character, but this girl ain't Princess Leia. And I also wondered, who is teaching his class while all this is happening? He's gone for days. He said at the start of the movie that he had office hours. Clearly he's not in his office and he's not teaching his class. So who's doing that?